One of the things that's been the most inspiring and humbling to me is that in the midst of all of this, I have yet to have had one La Cocina entrepreneur complain about the situation for themselves. It's always about, what am I going to do with my employees? What we do at La Cocina has changed dramatically since not only COVID-19, but more specifically the shelter-in-place ordinance came down in the state of California. Instantly, as an organization, we recognized that the first order of business for us was to support all of our entrepreneurs in what we called sort of stopping the bleeding. How do we get our folks to no longer need to pay out the bulk of their operating expenses? So for our graduates, we gave them our advice, which was to instantly contact their landlords and ask for rent abatement, not rent deferral, but abatement, because we actually think that that's what it takes. And then on the back side of that, we talked to a host of law firms and secured pro bono legal representation for each one of our entrepreneurs who was asking for rent abatement. And then the second part is finding some sort of income for our entrepreneurs, many of whom aren't going to be eligible for any of the stimulus packages coming out. La Cocina is a nonprofit, put $100,000 of our own operating capital as a seed for a fund, an emergency relief fund that we launched for our entrepreneurs. I'm super excited to be able to say that in about just over 3 weeks of fundraising, we were able to grow that fund to nearly $360 some odd thousand. That fund is continuing, and our hope is to once again be able to get, at the beginning of next month, another check into the hands of our entrepreneurs for their personal expenses, not their business. What we did was we put together these community food boxes, keeping in mind that we want our entrepreneurs to make money, but also that we want to be community minded. We want to get a lot of really good food into people's hands for a reasonable cost. You can buy them for a family of 2 or for a family of 4, and they are filled with different items cooked by a host of different entrepreneurs. And what that has allowed us to do is to put roughly between $1,200 and $1,600 of revenue into our entrepreneurs' hands. So from our entrepreneurs' perspective, they're really, really enjoying being a part of the box, not only because it gives them money, but because it gets them cooking, which is really what they love to do. I feel like every time I open La Cocina's Instagram account, either after a Tuesday or Friday, which are the days of the pickup, we are just flooded with like incredibly happy customers. People who are just excited to be able to get a box that's delicious and so diverse. What we're looking to do now is to actually partner with folks who have bigger outreach, who can get our boxes into more people's hands. We had an entrepreneur, Alicia, who was so concerned about being able to make her next payroll. And she literally got in her van. She makes tamales, and she recently started to wholesale her tamales as well. So she got in her van and went to, I think she said like 50 stores in 2 days, bringing samples and sales sheets. I don't understand how she did it, but she was able to make her payroll. And that was the most important thing to her. And that's overwhelmingly what I see from La Cocina entrepreneurs. The thing I'll say is something that I say even when we're not in crisis, is that I would really love for people to recognize the power that they each have. All of us have to eat 3 times a day. And those are 3 opportunities that we have to vote with our dollar, to put our money where our mouth is, and to support the sort of businesses that represent the sort of communities we want to see in the world.